I like Princess Leia when she's not flying in space. Man, there's not many Disney women I like. Let's get out of this subject.
We're about to change our name to the Deck Boys because we got some big deck energy going on over at Showboy.
Wow. The house is like 900 degrees up there.
I guess you have like extra heat resistance as a firefighter. Is that
Yeah,
that's a good trait to have.
They are like the things that will crawl into your skin and plant eggs, and you just die. And you just die.
And you just die.
I wish I remember what you were talking about because that sounds pretty gnarly.
Spiders. I'll never forget that because that's how I feel every day.
Yeah. Nice. Well, welcome to Show Boys. My name is Mike. I'm joined as always by my good friends Nick, Chad, and Dad. We're here to talk about stuff and things, and excited. We're just gonna have a good old what's watching / playing episode tonight. Got a lot of catching up to do with each other, but before we do that, just want to say thank you to our top tier patrons, Tim B, Yusuf H, and Joe C. Your support is awesome. We just threw up the second episode of the Tomb Raider series over on Patreon. So go check that out. If you're interested, want to know what Patreon's all about, or just want to sign up to support us monthly, head over to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Check it out. We have 4 tiers, all different perks and rewards and benefits. If any of those strike your fancy, please sign up today. It would be greatly appreciated. All of our other patrons, you guys are awesome too. Thank you so much for your support. With that out of the way, how you guys doing? What's up, Chadwick? We're gonna go.
I'm up.
Tonight.
I'm up. Yeah, that was quite the curveball you threw down here. I'm great, Mike. How are you? It feels like it's been forever since I asked you how you were, because Nick usually usurps me on the question.
He does.
I'm doing all right. Been really busy with packing up and stuff. So I don't know if I've actually said what's going on the podcast. I think I was just not gonna say, and then just my background totally changed, and but yeah, moving, and we just sold the house. Our appraisal came back today. Everything's good to go. So we're going to be closing in a couple weeks. Got to be out of the house. So we've been packing like crazy, selling off big pieces of furniture and all that fun stuff. So been super busy, very tired, and my house is very empty. As you probably noticed over the last several episodes, just slowly my office becoming emptier and emptier. That is why. But thank you for asking, Chad.
You're welcome.
Nick, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing good. It must. I mean, you must feel good. I mean, you sold in peak market. This is the tippy top of the top, dude.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
It feels awesome because
that's some big boomer energy. That's the people who are selling their houses right now are people like boomers and beyond. And you're over here
beyond.
Me too.
Yeah,
and you're moving to Florida. Are you 75 years old?
Maybe. I do have a lot of white hairs coming in the beard and a little bit up top. So, just trying to already, do what I can now to fit in when I get down there.
Yeah.
Join my fellow Q-tips.
Yeah.
It's wild. And the appraisal was a huge weight off the shoulders because there was a lot of doubt from people who were making offers, and even our real estate agent to a degree. I mean, she supported what we did and worked hard for us to get what we were asking for. But yeah, it came back and appraised for asking price. So, woohoo! Yeah.
Screw the haters.
That's right.
Get that bag.
Yep, that's what we did, Nick. Exactly.
Screw the haters. Get that bag.
What about you, Dad? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I have not been eaten alive by spiders, which is always a good thing.
Always good. Yeah.
I'm
Is
pretty
this a
tired.
constant fear in your life?
Oh yeah,
He's got a carrot in his head, bro. So yeah,
It's
I mean,
always
spiders
there.
eat carrots.
They do.
And they have a lot of eyes.
They do tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to switch to a different vegetable, bro.
So, so yeah, I'm doing all right, and I've actually been accumulating all of Mike's stuff. That's why my basement's so destroyed and cluttered.
I've just been slowly moving it into Jeff's basement.
Free stuff, yes. I mean,
hey, I like the new intro video. You did a good job with it.
Fire.
Fantastic. Love it.
I love anything that makes Jordan look like uncomfortable and yeah.
he's trying to get out of it.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Quick, change the subject.
Yes. But yeah, so we are going to be catching each other up on what we've been watching and playing lately. Excited to do that. Lots of countdowns that make me nervous. Joe, that's weird. You should probably get that looked at. Speaking
That's
of
what I have for you,
countdowns,
Joe.
we got just a few more subs to get to be able to give this OLED Switch away. So, counting down to 1,000. We're getting pretty close, guys. Come on, let's get those subs going.
It's a legit OLED box. Like it's 3-dimensional. It's not like a cardboard piece of cardboard.
I mean,
It's got some weight to it.
It's got some weight to it.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm excited to get into the topic tonight. So without further ado, let's do it. Dad, we'll start with you. I'm just throwing all the curveballs today.
Oh man,
Switching it up.
You been watching or playing anything lately?
So, what should I start with? Watching or playing?
Yeah,
Whichever you want, bud.
it's up to you, man.
Geez. All right. Well, let's start with what I've been watching, because that's more exciting. Just finished up season 1 of Invasion.
Yes.
Really, really loved it. Like, I know what I said in the beginning about the characters and not enough aliens, but after I got back into it and kind of just set that in the back burner, like with the aliens and needing to see it, I really started to enjoy the characters more and their arcs and the stuff that they were going through internally, as well as, this crazy invasion going on, this whole alien mystery thing. Really good show. I was going to start watching season 2 tonight, but I had to be on this podcast thing.
You're
but
just the producer. You could have just been watching, like in backstage. You don't have to
Taking
be here, Dad.
timestamps.
Oh, we get it.
that's a great idea.
So,
Okay, yeah.
I'm glad you came around on it because I told you I thought you were wrong in the beginning.
I remember.
I didn't think that it started slow at all. I'm on episode 9, maybe 10. It's become like my at work show. So it's like, I wake up and I have no idea what episode I just ended on. So I'm getting close somewhere to the end. But go ahead.
I was just going to ask if either you, Chad, or Nick have played Prey.
I have, yes.
The little spider.
Straight out, yeah. Straight out.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like in the show they're a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
They look so cool.
Yeah, they definitely look cool. Yeah, I enjoyed the build up to the alien reveal. I thought I didn't think it started out slow. I thought it popped off pretty quick. There's only really one storyline that I could care less about, and that's like the kids. I don't know, maybe it gets better. I don't know. I'm just I could care less what these kids are doing.
You're talking about the emo kid, the
dude.
Kid? Yeah.
Yep.
He seems
he's gonna maybe have an important part of the story. Obviously, it's just getting to that point that's kind of a drag for me.
That's that
Can I
slow
ask?
burn.
Can I ask you both a question?
Yeah.
Nick, you don't. I think we went over this last time, but I didn't say anything because Chad wasn't. I wasn't sure if Chad was far enough yet. But you probably aren't going to watch this, right? So I can.
I'll forget by the time I
something.
do watch it. Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler alert! Anyone who cares, just mute for like a minute.
Don't come back.
So, how'd you feel about Dr. Hugh Grant lasting about 30 seconds screen time before he died? The guy who plays.
I gotta be honest with you, bro.
Thank you, Joe.
Now that I'm like 9, 10 episodes in, I totally forgot he was even in the show. To be honest with you, yeah.
Like
So,
what?
like,
Why? What was the whole freaking?
I don't understand the point of having him play this guy who's going to
No
be
idea.
in the show for like 30
Probably
seconds.
just to have a name.
Just to have him, yeah, right.
Yeah, for that pool.
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean,
Yeah,
do
'cause
you
what-
really
what
need
he-
to do that anymore these days?
Did he get like stabbed by an alien, like in that thing?
I think he like had
The
a
hole in the
heart
ground?
attack or something. So
Oh, I thought he
something
got
happened in
stabbed.
that crater.
Yeah, I thought he
forget
got
exactly. It's
stabbed.
been quite a while. But yeah, I was like very perplexed when that death happened. I was like, what the like he's like the only high profile actor
And
in
they-
the show.
And they gave him enough screen time to make you
Yeah.
think that he was going to be important.
right. And in trailers,
Yeah,
like,
all
you
over
see
the
that guy and you're
trailers.
like, oh, okay.
It had to have been for that pool.
Half a
Yeah.
second, half an episode.
I mean, there was like part of me because they don't necessarily. I mean, they show him falling, but there was part of me that was going to be like, all right, he's going to like wake up on an alien ship at some point in the series, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm going with no on that one. He's just dead.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
Not yet. They just
That's true.
released
Season 2 came out. You never know.
Dude,
know.
that's
Good point.
funny because like I was picking up food at work the other day and it popped up on my phone like new episode of Invasion out, and I'm like, really? Like what
There's-
opportune
got-
moment for me?
They've got 3 right now.
Yeah, you guys watched
Or
it
2.
right at the right time.
Prime time, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say the end is cool how they leave it.
Yeah.
They just
It's
Yeah.
been a while since I've watched it. It was the first show that I tried out on Apple whenever I started, whenever we got Apple. So it's probably like 2 years ago, maybe like when it came out, I want to say. So it's been a minute.
Oh yeah, because that came out before Severance did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember it. It's definitely over a year because, because I was still at Red Oaks working on staff there at the church because I was talking with one of the other people about it.
Church.
So it's probably been 2 years. I don't know. I do want to pick up season 2. Hopefully get some time to sit in front of the TV soon. 'Cause that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys both like it.
Very good.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I love they put a lot of emphasis and attention on the characters, which it just seems like not a lot of that is made a priority right now for some reason. So it's nice and refreshing to see that they actually care about them.
Especially in that like genre of show too, right? Like most things, they aren't character driven. It's alien driven.
And I feel like we don't get a lot of the early days of an invasion, right? Maybe I just haven't seen it, but I'm like the only thing that pops in my head is like Independence Day is the only thing that tackles like the initial invasion. And the way they do it here, it's not like a full on military invasion of an alien race onto Earth. It's like a kind of stealthy thing going on here, which I really enjoy.
Yes.
It builds up the tension big time.
Yeah.
A lot of mystery and like just not being sure what's happening.
Right. And I love that it's from multiple perspectives and then like eventually paths cross and storylines meet, and that's really cool. But yeah, I really am a fan of the onset of we'll just call them catastrophes like this, like an alien invasion or like zombie apocalypse. Like talked about it last time. Fear the Walking Dead season 1 was amazing because of that. And then there's another zombie show called Black Summer on Netflix.
Yes.
I haven't watched season 2, but season 1 again was the onset of the outbreak and just seeing the chaos as it was unfolding. It's just really cool. And those aren't, like Chad was saying, those aren't really the perspectives you get in these types of movies or shows. So it's cool when you finally get that, and then even more cool when it's actually like well done and good.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's just I don't know. It's like a very realistic approach to everything so far, at least. Maybe it gets wild towards the end of the season, but for us being maybe 2 years away from this actually happening in real life,
might actually be happening
this
right
might
now.
actually be happening right now. Yeah, right.
We should definitely have a discussion on your theories.
Oh, I've got them.
I think that'd be a good podcast right there.
I've got them. Yeah, I've got a lot of them. Keep shoving them down the guys at work's throat. All my theories about the aliens are like, dude, what? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but whatever.
They're like, just let me finish snoring, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that probably looked really awkward, but my office chair is getting old, so it just like gradually starts to lower.
Yeah, that's how mine is. Yeah,
after
mine's the
like
same way.
30 minutes, I'm like up to my chin at my desk. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I gotta raise.
So you're like me every day.
Yeah, exactly. Need a booster seat.
I'm actually sitting on some things, so I can be propped up a little bit.
That is hilarious because that's what I do for Brady when we're doing our Demon Slayer episodes. He sits on like a pillow and a couple blankets.
Nick, you want to go next?
Oh, it's my turn. I haven't been listening this whole time, so no spoilers happen. I have this really cool ability where I just don't listen to anything anyone's saying around me. Yeah,
It's basically every time I talk to him, he gets a lot of practice.
yeah. Shoot. Does Ahsoka count? No, we talked about that last week.
Actually, it does. It does count.
I haven't seen episode 3. No episode 3 talk.
Then damn. Because there's something I really want to talk about at episode 3.
Oh man,
go watch it real quick.
Wait,
Let's
who
pause
hasn't seen
this, go
episode
watch
3?
it.
we'll be
Mike,
back
I'll just
in
take my headphones off.
40
What is
minutes.
wrong with you? It came out on
Go ahead.
Tuesday.
Raise your hand when you're done talking about episode 3. I'll put my headphones back on.
Yeah,
All
there
right,
you go.
3
Take care. Okay.
Oh, screw
Okay.
both of them. What's up,
Yeah.
Chad?
Okay, so listen. Do you remember the game The Force Unleashed? And The
Yes.
Force Unleashed 2?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
That's definitely the Sith dude, right?
Um,
Has to be.
well,
He's credited. He's credited in the credits.
but here's the counter to that. He has voiced 6 other characters in Star Wars.
Right, including Survivor people too.
Yep. Yeah. He like all over the place. Like nearly every other thing they make, he does a voice in. So,
But his name
is very similar.
is very similar as well, bro.
It would give him
it's
somewhere to
pronounced
land,
exactly
I
the
guess.
same.
Yeah, it would give
Yeah.
him somewhere to land post the games. It's just he wasn't as powerful. Those games are such like a fantasy outlier at this point.
Yeah, that's true. But as soon as I saw him in the credits, dude, and I heard him, I think the other thing, because I looked it up after, his line in the show is the exact first line that he says in the game too, like "as you wish" or whatever, is the exact same line. Which, granted, is said a lot in Star Wars, you know, so that could be a throwaway thing anyway. But
and I guess this isn't really episode 3 spoiler because people were kind of theorizing that from episode 2, but also like early Knights of Ren kind of thing going on right there too. So
true, yeah.
Never know. We don't even have to tell them that,
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Let's
They'll
just
think,
keep going,
They'll think that we never have to raise our hand.
We'll raise our hand.
We'll
bring
raise
back
it.
in.
All right.
Come back in.
So I think I know what you were talking about, and I'm
had to be
kind of
safe.
excited.
It's not really spoilery, I guess.
It's not, because it's like a theory. So
Mike's
Well,
hip to the theory.
Speaking of Ahsoka, I posted a little poll on the community tab over on YouTube about what everyone thought of the premiere, and 83% said amazing, mega hyped. with 17% saying it was terrible. What the heck were they thinking?
They're terrible.
Those people are just dumb because I really enjoyed it. Oh, Armless Chad's back.
And
I think it's great. I gotta be honest. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
So,
it's just fine. It's perfectly okay. No, it's really good.
Chad's like,
you're not
fantastic.
selling it the best
Nick's
there.
like,
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
perfectly
just,
okay.
It's perfectly
No, I
okay.
say perfectly okay because the word perfectly is there, right? So everything's okay with it. Because mostly speaking to like a lot of the complaints people have, which are like really, really digging. I don't know. Like I have some complaints, but you know, nothing's perfect. I'm tired of people talking about like characters with lack of like story or arc. Do they not look? Does everyone they know in their life just burst with like arc and story in their life and go places?
Right.
No, most people are pretty like straight and boring.
And you get pieces of it. Like you don't like sit down with someone and talk for days about their life. You know,
It's not their job.
Yeah,
well, like what characters need background and lore? Like the main character of the show has like several seasons of background and lore.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't know, dude. I can't stand the background thing because this came up on Uncharted 4. Like, why didn't Nate ever say he had a brother? It's like, dude, I don't know. I go. You know, we only spent like 30 hours with the characters. I go 30 hours without talking about my brother. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I don't think like his brother had any part of like surviving anything that Nate went through in the first 3 games. So why would it just be like, you know what? Yeah. My brother totally would have just done this.
Yeah, right. Like, and he thought he was dead at the time. So you know, I can't stand the background stuff. That being said, I do have one issue, and I don't even know if this is an issue because maybe he did this in Rebels, but Chopper's beeping is a little too close to English. Like you can understand what he's saying when he's beeping. Yeah. Does he do that in Rebels? I can't remember. Like you could hear it literally what he was saying that entire time he's on the ship and he's trying to find the.
It's way more on the nose.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I didn't notice. Maybe Chad's been spending too much time with Chop or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You go back and listen to it. You can hear exactly what he's saying.
My current gripe, and this is just a fault of like capital ships, large vessels in space in Star Wars, is like, you know, we're just gonna, you know, regardless of the shape, we're just gonna mount forward facing cannons all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, this giant hyperspace ring that we see at the end of episode 2, you know, there's a bit in episode 3 that you'll see where it just doesn't logistically make sense. Like you would design, like it's the same thing as like a Star Destroyer. They don't have any like rear facing cannons. So if you get behind it, like the Millennium Falcon and park, you're good. So it's like, I just got to pass you and I'm out. So more of that, but just little stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah. I need to get on episode 3 for sure.
Yeah. It's only like 35 minutes.
I mean, I kind of it is short.
But it's all you need.
It is. It's true. I thought it was a great episode. But you know, I have complaints with the Star Wars length of episodes on some of these, and that's towing the line there for a little too short. But I do kind of wish that I went back and watched Rebels because I feel like there's stuff that definitely happened in Rebels that I should know and remember, and I don't. So
I think I see a lot of that too, and the consensus kind of is you don't need to watch Rebels. They do a fine job here. I think just being aware of the story once in passing is fine. There's not really many deep details that they don't rehash that you need to know.
Yeah.
Though I was a little like confused about the whole Ahsoka Sabine thing. I was like, was this a thing in Rebels?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't remember it either. That's why I'm like, I don't remember that them train. Like, was this off screen? Maybe, or maybe I'm just I forgot it. Is probably the more logical scenario.
Yeah.
So how much time between Rebels and Ahsoka?
7 years? No, 9 years right now. We're a 9 ABY.
Okay. So maybe they didn't show it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I feel weird about that whole apprenticeship.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Like, it's a very cartoony thing. Like, let's give a lightsaber to the Mandalorian looking chick. That'll be cool. You know what I mean? Kids will love that.
I mean,
so
that's kind of cool if you think about it.
I approve.
I approve.
The two Dark Jedi. She
Balin
actually had
and whatever.
She has like an apprentice braid, which is cool. I thought, like a Jedi would.
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
I didn't pick up on that. I like her a lot. I like both those characters. I'm glad because when the trailers came out, it looked like they had orange lightsabers, and I was like, maybe that was
people still think they do. Because I saw articles that are like, why aren't they red? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're red.
They're red in the show. They definitely weren't in the trailers, but they darkened them for the show. So I thought they were going in that direction, like they were going to be, whatever, Jordan's
maybe
favorite
they're
gray Jedi or whatever.
Not complete.
Yes.
I talked about that with Casey last week.
Yeah.
Shout out, Casey. That was a great episode.
Shout out.
Love talking Star Wars with that guy. I just love talking to that guy, period.
Yeah, he's a good time.
Awesome. Yeah. Chad.
Yeah.
Sir.
So I've been looking around Apple TV.
Okay.
Since I'm subscribed now.
Did you finish Blackbird?
I did finish Blackbird. Yes. Yeah. Did you watch it? Did anybody here watch Blackbird?
Not yet.
The movie.
Okay.
On the list.
Yes. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's in line with Invasion, I think. I think it's really, really well done.
Nice.
But watch it and then we'll talk about it. I found another show. So I am like mildly obsessed with Navy SEALs. And I found a show called The Line, which is a documentary about a Navy SEAL that was accused of war crimes. And it's a short 4-parter. I'm sure you heard the story. It was all over the news when it happened. Fantastic telling of the story and how everything panned out. And most of the time when you get content about the story, it's Eddie Gallagher, who's the accused in the case, telling his side of the story. This actually has the people that were accusing him in it as well, which you don't hear very often because of the way everything kind of played out over the course of the trial. So you don't really get to ever hear their opinion. So he was accused of murdering an ISIS prisoner and maybe murdering some people with a sniper when they were in Iraq. And his team came back and turned on him. And the way they tell the story, like this dude's a meathead. Like you can tell he's just an asshole and they didn't like him. So it was like a slow progression of stuff. Like they got mad because they thought this guy stole their power bars. That's where it started. So when they came back, that's what they were pissed about, that somebody stole their power bars when they were on deployment. And then when that wasn't enough to get him in trouble, it just slowly started escalating to the point of murder that they accused him of.
Jeez.
And it's really cool, man. The way they tell the story in here, there's stuff I didn't know. And there's something that happens in the trial that is like one of those head turning moments for a trial where everybody like gasps in the courtroom because of something that's said in there. So it's really, really good. It's a short, like I said, it's like 4 parts, maybe like 50 minutes a piece. Great telling of the story, great telling of like what SEALs do, which was really cool as well. But yeah, I couldn't put it down. I watched it straight through all 4 episodes. Fantastic.
Nice. What was it called? The Line, you said?
The Line. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Is that a play on like crossing the line?
Yep. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Look at Nick being all deductive over there.
Like I'm trying to I don't know where I really even land on the whole scenario because I'm almost certain that he did this. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, the way they build it, it's like, but did he? Because it seems like these guys are lying. I don't know. I was like just trying to figure it out.
So even with this being from the point of view of the accusers, you still were like,
it's both point of views.
Okay.
That's what's cool. So normally you would just get you get a podcast with just Eddie telling everything, and then whatever else, another documentary where Eddie's talking about it. This is both sides, which is really cool to see.
It's
and it was like
not a dramatization. right?
Correct. Yep. And actual footage from when they're over there. The whole first episode is basically all footage of them over there, which was also really cool to watch. But it became like a spectacle. Did you guys ever hear of it? Like it was all over. Like Donald Trump like got him out of prison and all that stuff. So.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
I don't know the story closely, but I know like of it happening. I didn't follow it though.
The only military thing that I remember following. Do you guys remember? I think it was the Serial podcast.
I knew you were gonna
do you guys
say
remember that?
I remember Serial.
That had like the first season was like maybe it was Serial. I don't know. It was some podcast, but they had like the first season that got them like all big and famous was that one dude who was accused of murdering some chick or something, and then the second
the army
season was like S Town or whatever. But then there was a season of a guy who like abandoned his post and then ended up getting caught by the Taliban, and then we had to like rescue him somehow.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that's where you're going, but clearly a completely different story.
It's it's a super interesting story, and it's interesting to see like we're taking these guys and honing them to an edge to be murderers, but it's a fine line between going crazy, right? Doing your job and going crazy. So,
dang. Well, now we just need to get Nick to take a bite of the apple, and there you go. And get him on board.
Nick, I think you definitely should do it because there's some good stuff on here.
It's like $7,
and it's cheap.
And Jared Harris has a show on there, dude.
He might have a few.
Our boy.
What show is his? Foundation. Yeah. I just started Foundation. Nice. It looks like I'm approximately 2 minutes into it, so not very far. But
I same way for me. Like I started watching it, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I switched to Invasion.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
Foundation is pretty cool. Give it a shot. Yeah, Jared Harris. I mean, can't go wrong with old Jerry.
I will someday. I'm preoccupied right now on Max.
Speaking of perfect transition, totally planned because we talk about this stuff all the time. The last thing I watched was something on Max. Something I've been wanting to do for literal years, but never just went ahead and did it.
Oh, yes.
I fired up the extended version of Fellowship of the Ring, Chad's favorite movie, and finally rewatched. Started my rewatch
all their
of
glory.
The trilogy. Yes. I've only gotten through Fellowship. It was the extended version, which was like 4 hours. I had to go like
a week
Snyder cut
episodic
attempt here, where I just did like an hour or so a night because I'm old, and by the time I would sit down on the couch, I would get about 60 minutes in and start not being able to hold my eyes open.
Yeah. It's not because you're old. It's because that movie's ruthlessly boring.
That's
happening to you.
So I haven't rewatched this trilogy probably since it came out. It's been a long time. I don't know if I've ever rewatched it.
Wow.
And
trash.
Dude, holy crap.
Good.
It's so good. The last time I watched it, it was before I watched things with the perspective I watch things now. And man, there's so much to appreciate there. It's such a great story. The extended version adds so much, and the scenes that they add, it's not just fluff scenes that they cut to cut down time. I imagine it was probably hard to cut these scenes out because it actually added meat to the bones, and visually still holds up. A lot of practical effects, which I absolutely love. And man, it was so fun. I loved every second of the 4 hours, and I can't wait to get into the 2 towers. Wow, that rhymed.
I guess that four-parter would be almost perfect because you have an hour in the Shire, an hour on the way to Rivendell and the whole Rivendell Council, hour for the Moria segment, and then an hour for the final arc there, where it all falls apart. Spoiler.
Yeah.
What?
Spoiler. That's pretty much how I broke it down too. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't set out like I'm only gonna watch an hour a night. I was just like, okay, they're leaving the Shire. I'm getting kind of tired. Like, I'll just call it a night here. And that's the second time I've rhymed talking.
You're
about
you're
this.
Yeah,
on a
you're
roll.
rocking it.
Yeah.
Speaking of like 4+ hour extended edition, Ridley Scott already has a 4.5 hour version of Napoleon, like locked and loaded.
Oh, Napoleon. For some reason, I thought you were gonna say something about Avatar, like 7.
No, that's James Cameron.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then I just like skimmed the article, and someone was trying to say like he wants it to release on Apple Plus. I don't know what the
Really?
play is
Yeah.
there, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Dude,
So yeah, not the actual
Napoleon looks
release.
good too. It looks good.
Didn't he do
Check out
Gladiator?
Joaquin.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
also
Yes and yes.
the Emperor.
That's
in
what I thought you were gonna
Gladiator.
say.
Looks just like he just looks like an older version of who he played in Gladiator. Hopefully, people don't
Yeah.
get confused and they're like, no, the Italian emperor
Right.
did not become the French one a mere 700 years later or whatever.
And hey, since Ridley Scott just came up, I just want to
Shout out.
shout out. I just want to take a moment to needlessly defend Prometheus because I loved that movie. And I feel like that movie gets a lot of hate. And
They're full of
actually, it's pretty awesome.
It's because they come at it as an alien movie. Like it's not
Yeah,
an alien movie.
You
It's
gotta separate it.
It's an alien prequel in the same universe, but it's not like it's in there for the novelty to connect it, but like it's completely about not that.
Yeah. Super cool.
It's about the main
Second
chick.
shout out, Raised by Wolves, rest in peace.
Rip.
Also pretty decent show. Kind of sad that got canceled. Ridley Scott, they're doing you wrong, man.
Space Mormons. Come on.
Right, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, so that was the last thing that I watched. I've been watching Ahsoka too, but looking forward to. I don't have a couch in my living room at the moment, so I don't know when I will start the Two Towers, but probably won't be until I have a couch to like lay on and watch watch that.
Just stand there and cheer. Like it's a football game.
I'll just pace around my living room pretending like I'm part of the fellowship as they're walking.
I mean, Two Towers has that energy to it.
Yeah, like I'm on my way to Rohan.
Yeah. You can do it.
Anyways,
no couch needed.
Rest in peace, Sean Bean. Very valiant death, you know. Anyways,
at first I thought you were gonna tell me he actually died.
Yeah.
Ironically,
You
that
guys
guy will probably
believe
live
it?
forever.
I would believe it. Yeah.
All right, Dad.
Yeah.
You watching or playing anything else?
So I forget when it was, but I think it was probably a few weeks ago. I took Pat to go see Blue Beetle.
Oh yes.
We both really enjoyed it. I know it's not very strong right now. Hi, Hans. Hans and Franz.
That horse has the biggest nose I've ever seen. Look at that bad boy.
Nos. It's like an anteater horse.
Yeah, it's actually what it is. You know, anteaters have manes like that. Anyways,
No.
how's Blue Beetle?
Stop interrupting him.
You're like interrupting me and then trying to transition back, and it's not working.
He's just trying to rhyme
transitions
more.
are.
Yeah, you just say it anyways, and that's perfect transition.
Anyway. Yeah, so Blue Beetle. Although it's had a pretty rough box office,
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love it.
What?
That's just the
inside
best way
joke
to
that
describe
you're
a
not-
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
There were people in it. There was some cool fighting. I don't know. It kind of gave me a little bit of hope for the Gunverse.
Like I said, DC. Every other year they reel you in, and then they kick you in the teeth.
Yeah.
I've got that in the back of my mind. You know, I'm kind of fallen into the superhero fatigue thing.
Oh, everyone catches it.
Like, it's just kind of burning out, you know.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. Big, you know, family dynamic. Good emphasis on that. Yeah. I mean, maybe we can talk about it some week, but
yeah,
it was fun.
I wonder. I think I'm starting to think that no matter what DC movie releases, if it's a part of a universe, people are automatically turned off by it and will not go see it.
Right.
So, like, no matter how good Blue Beetle is or was supposed to be or whatever, like, it was never gonna have a good box office. Like,
No.
It's quite sad, really.
Now, if you guys want to see a large beetle farting out poop gas, you should go see it.
I can't say that I've ever once in my
a
life
big robot beetle
wanted to see that in my life.
Now the question is,
totally disproved everything I just said.
Yeah, thanks for just
do you guys believe that was actually in the movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta add art jokes in your superhero movie, duh.
So I'll tell you, Mike, exactly what the problem is with DC is that they're just always going to be living in the shadow of the MCU. You know what I mean? At this point now, that's where they're going to stay until something
which really
drastic
sucks
happens.
Because there's a lot of greatness within the DC.
They seem to stick to standalone movies.
I think they just need to stick to Batman, if I'm being honest with you. Like, that sells. Every Batman movie I've ever seen has been fucking awesome.
Batman movie.
Yeah.
Except the ones that were attached to a cinematic universe, being, you know, Batfleck, you know, Batman vs Superman, Justice League. Even though he was probably my favorite Batman.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah.
Everyone hated them because they were part of the DCEU.
Well, you know why that is? It's not because of that. It's because of all the shitty other superheroes that are in those movies. I'm sorry. I know you're a big DC guy and you love Flash and you love fucking Aquaman or whatever. They're terrible, bro. It is what it is. Batman
Aquaman's film, existence not great.
Yeah,
Comic
Green Lantern and like it's just not good over on that side. Outside of Batman, which is arguably top superhero of all time. So it's a tough pill to swallow because you have one side that's got okay superheroes but are doing really good movies, and then you have one side that has the best superhero but also has a bunch of trash superheroes under it, and they're trying to shove this shit down our throats. And I don't want it. I want Batman.
It's just they're all super broody. Like all DC superheroes are just, even like Wonder Woman is somehow broody in those. So I don't, you know, I think that's why people just are generally like, oh, another moody superhero. Woes them. Meanwhile, you have like just kind of like your average Joe superheroes over in DC or Marvel that just make everyone feel like they're a superhero.
Right.
So you got two opposite ends of the spectrum, because it's weird in whatever that was, Dawn of, I think, Justice League, where you have Green Lantern just like at the end, or was it, who was that, the cameo at the end of all that alluded to other problems in like the galaxy?
No idea.
No, no one ever watched that.
No one ever saw.
Thought Mike would know. But they always just show up and they just have this super important thing that's just like going on to them, and it's like, well, how does that fit in with everything else? It doesn't. Like Superman can just melt down the city, no big deal. You know, Batman's just across the pond there, like doing his thing, beating up thugs.
And it sucks because I think right now for DC is the prime time to maybe get an upper hand on Marvel, because their movies kind of suck if we're being honest, right? I mean, the past couple movies we watched for this podcast we didn't like.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Marvel was lightning in a bottle. Like, there's no reason for people to chase that dream anymore. Like, it's mostly done.
We do have the Reeves verse though, the Batman.
yes,
with Robert
Which-
Pattinson.
oh,
and there's
dude.
a second coming.
Part 2,
supposed to have
25.
Clayface, which will be cool.
I mean,
Two-Face.
Clayface
I think Two-Face is supposed to be in it too.
could be.
I
we
will
also
say, go ahead.
Jed.
No, go for it.
The Penguin series on Max coming too.
Oh wow!
In that same universe with Colin Farrell reprising his role. So
this is what I was going for. Like, let's dump. I don't even know who the fuck Blue Beetle is. I've never heard of him. I got him mixed up with the Tick when it originally they said something about it. Let's get rid of these crappy movies about these C-list superheroes over on DC and just make
The Joker.
Let's focus on Batman. There's so many good Batman stories that can be adapted that have not been adapted yet. The Killing Joke, there's so many of them that, I mean, the list goes on and on of Batman movies that we can do. And then if you want to have your splinter off movies, do the villain movies. Have the Penguin movie, have the Joker movie, I'd love to see a Riddler movie. You know, I think the Riddler in that movie was fantastic. So I'd like to see
Scarecrow.
a prequel, Scarecrow, something. Yes. That's how you take DC and grasp it. Because in my opinion, that's the only good shit over there. You know what I mean? Like Blue Beetle, Flash. Maybe there's good stories out there with them. Maybe. I just haven't seen
my
them.
only rebuttal would be that a lot of the heroes in the MCU kind of fit that like C tier level of hero, but
100%.
because of the MCU, like,
but they're more
elevated
interesting.
But they are. And that's a valid argument that you make, because literally Iron Man was like the 99-cent rack when I was a kid. Like nobody bought Iron Man.
Except Robert Downey Jr. just comes like flossing
Kills
out
it.
as Iron Man. Like, that's the problem. Like,
Yeah, just literally.
Who's playing
is
Blue
Tony
Beetle?
Stark.
The
not
dude that was in
not Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
not Brad Pitt.
Right.
Not
But
like
I'd say even like at the time RDJ got the role, like he wasn't, like he was
He
kind
wasn't
of
him,
not in
yeah.
a great spot in his career.
Right.
it was his bounce back, but he had already
Yeah.
established himself, and like it was his comeback, which made it even greater, right? Like, he was an actor like most people wrote off already out of his prime, and then just bounces back. That was a double whammy right there. That was unfortunate coincidence for Disney.
But
Marvel.
I'd love to see like a Red Hood movie. Like that
Yes.
whole storyline would be freaking amazing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Killing Joke, The Long Halloween is phenomenal. And they kind of maybe took some parts of it for movies here and there. I think the Red Hood stuff is maybe hinted at in the Ben Affleck movies. Is that true?
Yeah,
Like,
I think
he's
a
got like
little
the
bit.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like Robin's suit that's all beat up. So that's what they should do, man. I don't understand why they wouldn't do it. Long Halloween, year one. I guess Batman Begins is kind of year one, really. But I don't know. Like Blue Beetle, bro. Like, come on.
I mean,
did they make him up? Like, I've never heard of Blue Beetle.
Speaking of Batman Begins, September 16th, I think that trilogy is coming back to theaters, which is pretty rad.
Yeah, so
I
you
did
can
see
see
that,
Really?
yeah.
Hans says, hello, Reddy. He says there should be another Flash movie, but Flash only gets 5 seconds of screen time and the rest is Batman.
I'd be down for it. I'd be down for it.
as long as they do the costumes right.
Yes.
Batfleck's cowl was atrocious. Atrocious.
I think that he would do a really good Dark Knight Return storyline. Like, he would be perfect for that storyline. He's got the build for it. He's got well, I mean, I'm sure they made him look bigger in the movie, but when I saw him for the first time, I was like, that's what that looks like. So I thought that's the direction they were going.
Yeah,
with
that
it,
they kind of went a little bit that route. Like, I wish they would have told the actual story there. They just kind of like borrowed the elements of it with the whole Batman versus Superman movie. Because that's essentially what that comic is, right? Older Batman gets fed up with Superman, and then they like duke it out. And
I was thinking of Batman Beyond. He also has
That
the
also-
I
ability
feel
to-
like he would also have been a great older Bruce
think-
Wayne to train the new Batman. That
I
would have
think
been-
Michael Keaton would nail that perfectly, if I'm being
yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
He's
either of
perfect
them
for
would
it
have
right
been
now.
Yeah, for sure.
So it does seem like they have like a video game issue over there where they're borrowing elements from the comics and then doing their own story, where they should probably just stick to the stories from the comics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But alas, they'll keep making movies and people will keep complaining about them, and then someone else will get put in charge, and then they'll keep making movies and people will keep complaining about them. So
Yep.
And round the wheel goes.
yes. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here waiting for Rebel Moon so I can bask in
Yeah.
Zack Snyder greatness even more.
It does look
all right.
sweet.
Dude, it really does. I believe we're over to you, Nick.
Me? Oh, well, I'll just give everyone my Sopranos update.
All right.
Anyone want to care to guess where I am at in the 6 seasons of Sopranos?
Halfway through season 4.
4.
5. Wow, Mike, that's intense. No, I'm 3 episodes into season 4.
Ooh.
So I did slow down a little bit. I missed some evenings over the past couple weeks. Wasn't as fast as getting through 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of season 3?
Season 3 is really good. I like that one a lot. I think always like these kind of, the setup at the beginning of the season, and each season has a slightly different vibe to it, which is cool. Like a lot of HBO shows tend to do, especially the older ones. Like that was kind of something I think they copied many times, was like, we got like a different spin, like The Wire does that. And
right.
They all have that element. So, still trying to figure out what they're setting up for season 4, but season 3 was really good.
Season 4 gets really, like I said before, I think season 4 is probably my favorite season.
Okay.
It's close maybe with the later seasons, but it's just really good. And they start throwing in elements that really start to twist the story up a little bit.
Yeah.
So like when you pointed out the redhead dude, you're like, where'd this guy come from? I'm like,
Dude,
I think
Ralphie.
Yeah, Ralphie's fantastic.
Dude's off the chain.
He's so crazy. I love it.
Yeah, and I had high school and like college. I had a friend. He is obsessed with this show. Like I'm pretty sure he watches it just like a white chick would watch Friends. It's just like always on. And I'm trying to peg him. So like as I'm watching the show, like it's ungodly ridiculous how much he like models hit everything off of so I'm trying to like peg him as I know the characters. I'm like, okay, he really has an affinity for this character, right?
Yeah.
But then like basically like later season 3 of Ralphie, I'm like, oh my god, like
it's him.
He's basically I don't know if he likes that.
Yeah, he'd probably never talk to you again if you told him that, to be honest.
But I might do that to piss him off.
Yeah, season 4 gets really interesting. Season 3 is, like I said before, the one that I started watching just randomly. I picked up on season 3. So I love season 3. I love the whole Jackie Jr. story going on in season 3.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in actual mob history, like the young shouldn't be in the mob dude trying to get mixed up with the mob. And so yeah, I really enjoy
Omar.
that.
Man, I was so happy to see him show up.
Yeah. But 4 is like where it really starts to pick up for me and become the show that it is. It's really at season 4 where production values start getting much better. The acting gets really, really good. The storytelling gets really good. And then it doesn't really slow down until the end.
Yeah, and I think and this is obviously part of like the twisting and stuff, but they're really good at taking characters that like you build up an affinity for, and then they start doing questionable things with the characters, not in like a bad way, like you disagree with it, but it's like, what are they doing to my character?
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, this character's starting to make like weird choices, and you're like, like that doesn't match up with like how I had them pegged. And you hate to see it.
Yeah, so there's characters, and I think like Johnny Sack's already introduced, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love Johnny Sack. His storyline's fantastic. Probably one of my favorite of the entire story. I love Furio, the dude from Italy. Yeah. He's just that first scene where he drops him off at like the freaking salon or whatever, the massage parlor, and just lets him wreck house. Like it's such a good scene.
Yep.
So yeah, we're starting to get to the point where like new big characters are going to start getting introduced that are going to really be there for the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, and we really got to time this right, because I would love to sit down like minutes after you watch the finale and discuss it.
I can probably line that up. I could probably time that because I watch it consistently enough.
Yeah.
I like to think I could finish it this month, in the month of September. That would be ideal.
There's quite a few weeks in September. We need a topic. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I can do by like what the third week when you're out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris is a great character. Obviously, I like him, but like I dislike things that like choices he makes.
Right.
Same thing with Syl. I'm not liking what Syl's up to, whatever he's doing. They all have their weird spins.
They do, and they play off of each other so well. Like I love Paulie and Chris's interactions really through the whole series. And I'm trying. Let me double check what season this episode is, because I don't think you've got to it yet, and I don't want to spoil it.
Did we talk about Pine Barrens?
Barrens
was sweet.
Okay, that's the episode I was just looking up.
That's episode 9 of 3.
Okay. Pine Barrens is up there for like top 3 episodes probably for me. I love that episode, dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. And I like how they do tell off, it's weird because like they build these threads. And I think I said this last time, they're really good at building these threads that matter, but like they don't matter intra episode so much, because they're able to do these like thematic episodes where they're completely self-contained kind of. And even the characters are, they're not like on the same beat that maybe they were in a previous episode. And it's weird because they do really good at showing like time jumps. Not that there are drastic time jumps, but like between seasons, there's usually a few months to like a half a year. And even between episodes, you just assume there is time that has gone by.
Right.
Because it's not like an episode ends and this character's pissed at that character. It's really more so the next episode, they're probably fine for the most part in terms of just being cordial and stuff. So it's not like that type of drama where it's constantly leaning on this episode to episode drama, which is really cool. So they're able to make it a lot more of a slow digestion. And I saw an article somehow about season 3. It was about season 3, like when it came out, and how it, it continued getting better. Like it was already really well liked 1 and 2, and then like 3 just gets better. And it was just one of those shows that continuously got better with each season, and they kept like topping themselves.
Yeah. You're really in the prime, like 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, maybe. That's like prime Sopranos. But I do think, and you maybe even picked up on it, like the production value just skyrockets in season 4. Like the camera works better, everything looks better, all the acting is better. We're kind of getting out of the 90s vibe that the first couple seasons have. But Pine Barrens, dude, that's so funny that you picked that out, because that's literally, I, for whatever reason, thought that happened in season 4.
Well, it's also my friend's favorite. I like one of his favorite episodes too. Yeah. So I saw it coming after you mentioned it last time. So I saw it coming, and I thought someone else was going to get whacked in that. I thought, it's not really a spoiler. I thought Ralphie was going to get whacked in that episode, but he doesn't.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then I also want to point out the car dealership lady, her whole storyline, season 3. I love that whole storyline. He always finds himself in this predicament with these crazy chicks that he's seeing. So it's always fun, but that's definitely one of the best ones that he goes through. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you're looking at like top 20 episodes, like you haven't seen probably half of them yet. Maybe not even. Yeah, maybe more than half of them.
Sounds like it's really good somehow.
It does. It does.
The only weird thread that like is a little offsetting is just like him and his wife's relationship season to season. Like season 2 or 3, like really built up some conflict between them. As if she's gonna divorce him or something. But then like season 4, they are pretty A-okay. So like that's one that kind of like wanes pretty freely, just for the sake of tension there.
Yeah, I mean they go through their roller coasters throughout the show, definitely. Rightfully so, because he's kind of a scumbag, right? So let's be honest. I'm excited you're watching this, dude. I'm excited you're liking it because I'm always worried. Like I said before, I'm always worried when I recommend The Sopranos to someone that didn't grow up in an Italian family. I always feel like that I have a more understanding of the way the family works and the way things are going on in the family. But everybody that I have recommended it to that's not Italian has loved it. So
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I watched like not the show makes a good point. Like all Italians, it's not all about the mob and stuff, but I've seen a lot of mob movies and like I get the foundation of what's going on. Plus, I've obviously grew up around plenty of people that make it a very important part of their lives, the mimic. So
right.
A lot of it's kind of second nature. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense now. Like,
yeah. Awesome.
Nice. Well, Chad, I think that brings us over to you, my friend.
It does. So we're gonna go in a little time capsule here and go back to maybe late 80s, early 90s. So I started playing Armored Core, which we're gonna talk about later. But before we talk about it, so we know how I build my little content bubbles, right? So I'm like in a mech robot bubble right now.
Are you watching Gundam Wing?
I am not. Okay, so that's interesting. let me tell what I started, and then we can talk about the anime because I'm struggling to find an anime that I want to watch. But so I didn't realize like how much I was obsessed with this shit as a kid, like mechs and robots and that stuff. And one of my very earliest memories, maybe my earliest memory ever, is at my parents' house or apartment in Louisville on the pull-out couch in the living room watching RoboCop. That's like a very, very early memory of mine. So I was like trying to find an anime, a mech anime to watch. And I was like, you know what? I haven't watched the RoboCop movies in like forever. So I went back and watched RoboCop 1, RoboCop 2, which are the only ones worth watching in my opinion. And I have like a deep nostalgic tie to these movies, so I love them personally. But man, are they cheesier than hell when you go back and watch them now. You know what I mean? They're like really bad, really, really bad. But I do want to say I think that they're worth watching 100%. I think that they don't hold up nearly as well as I thought they did. The enemy robots in RoboCop just don't work anymore. They're like at like 10 frames per second, so they look horrifically terrible. Maybe they'll remaster it at some point and bump that up a little bit. But it literally looks like they're moving an action figure and like taking pictures of that. You know what I mean? It's very bad.
There you go. Just think of it like stop motion.
Right. But watching those and realizing they don't hold up, but I still am very nostalgic for it. I didn't even know they made a remake of RoboCop. Had no idea. Totally slipped under my radar. They made it in 2014. And it is actually really, really good. Really good movie. Really? Especially if you have a nostalgic pull towards RoboCop. I think they did an awesome job retelling the story. And it helps that it's 2014. The technology is there. Everything looks sweet. So if you're into that kind of stuff, or RoboCop in general, RoboCop, the remake, is well worth going back and revisiting.
Dude,
that's awesome.
There is an AI movie coming out called The Creator.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys have seen trailers for this.
I have.
From the director of Rogue One, by the way. Shout out.
Nice.
It looks so
It
cool.
does look good. I watched
so cool.
I watched a really good AI movie, and I can't. Megan? Is that a movie?
Oh.
Megan?
I believe so. About
Yeah,
like
Megan
doll?
with a 3 for the E. Yeah, it's like an AI doll. Really good movie. I loved it. She just is super trippy. Like she creeps me the hell out, and there's many instances of her doing it in the movie. So if you're into like AI movies like that, and it reviewed really well, I just totally missed it. But now that we're talking about robots and mechs and all this kind of shit, I'm trying to find an anime, Nick. And the way that Brady and I usually do this is we get like 6 anime that we are interested in watching, and then we watch the pilot for each one and see which one grabs our interest. So we have watched Gundam Iron Blood Orphans.
Okay.
86, which is not a Gundam. And then Code Geass or something like that. Which we might not have watched that one yet. But yeah, there's like such an abundance of Gundam animes that I don't know which one to choose. There's literally like 50 of them.
Yeah. So there's a few directions you can go. Obviously, like anything not anything Gundam. Like Gundam's always a good place to probe.
Yeah.
Netflix has Pacific Rim: The Black, so not quite Gundams, but Pacific Rim style stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Is that an anime?
Yeah, it's an anime
Okay.
based on the Pacific Rim universe, so that might be worth taking a look at just because it's modern.
Right.
I was just trying to find maybe it's not Netflix, but Mike, we've talked about this one before, but it's a mech cartoon. I don't know if it's quite anime, but anime style that's like 3D, more modern. I need to figure out which one it is, but it was decent. But if you want more like 80s 90s like Gundam stuff, actually this was like early 2000s late 90s, but Gundam Wing,
yeah, I saw that one on there.
Yeah, that's kind of like the primo like Dragon Ball Z Sailor Moon era like cartoon on Cartoon Network was Gundam Wing. And then I think there was like Gundam 00. That would be another one worth getting into.
Too.
So
yeah,
those would be more of the like primo like Gundam titles, maybe.
So yeah, I think that those are actually both on the list that we were building out. The Origin is also on there, which I think is a remake of the original Gundam anime. Like a retelling of that story, and it's newer. Like it came out in like 2014, 2013, maybe.
I didn't realize Netflix had all of these Gundams on there.
Yeah, there's a lot. And that dude, Crunchyroll, no joke, there's like 50 of them on there because they have like Gundam Builders, which is like kids in high school building Gundams and fighting it. Like there's so many different offshoots of Gundam that when I started looking, I was like really overwhelmed because I'm like, I was thinking there was going to be like 3 of them and we could just watch them and figure out which one we wanted to watch. But
Hiro, and I think that's 00, or is that Gundam Wing? But the main character is like Hiro, and he's just like a very broody, like anime, like like really pretty boy kind of thing going on. But he rocks like the baddest mech that there is. And those ones are always fun because they're like line up all of the like peasant mechs and they're all just shooting like machine guns, and then the heroes out, the badass ones just coming with like their swords and like other bigger weapons, and they just like lay waste to hundreds at a time. So it's just like ridiculous space mech warfare.
I'm definitely like, we watched 86, which is another mech anime. 86 is very close to Armored Core. But it feels like in my soul, it should be Gundam that I watch. Like that's the mech anime. Like it feels like that. If I'm jumping in, should be a jumping in point for getting back into this. So it's probably going to be a Gundam series. I just haven't figured out which one yet.
Yeah. Wing or Mobile Suit Gundam 00 would be the way to go.
Nice.
I tried to get back into, I think, Wing like sometime last year, but I think it was like through Hulu, and there's freaking ads, so it was like brutal on my
Right.
soul. So now that I have access to Crunchyroll, I can probably watch that in peace now.
Right. Without an ad, yeah.
Oh, speaking of ads, I don't think we never talked about that story, Mike, from like last week or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, what oh,
Tubi,
Jaws.
we're watching Jaws.
Yeah, we're watching Jaws. Did I tell that story then?
I don't remember if you ended up or.
I mean, the short of it was like
but...
I tried to watch it on Tubi, and there was ads, right? Which I didn't know, and I saw one come up, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, right? So 30 seconds later, oh, a second one. 30 seconds later, oh, a third 45-second one. Oh, we're on the fourth one. Off.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna go rent it
dude.
with my Google money and just watch it. Like because my problem was I was like, this is I need to watch this movie as a whole. I cannot be interrupted. That is not this type of movie. So I was like, no, I refuse. This is garbage.
Yeah, I actually do. I think I remember you saying that you shut it off and then just rented it.
Hate ads.
Yes, you do. Nice. So I haven't really been watching too much outside of Ahsoka and Lord of the Rings. But I decided to pick up Ori and the Blind Forest again. But this time on the Steam Deck instead of my Switch. And I'd finished my leg of our Pokeboys playthrough pretty early, so I was like, need something to play in my like random few minute spurts when I have time. So I threw on Ori, and holy crap, dude! I mean, the very little bit I played on the Switch was amazing, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't revisit it because this type of game is not the type of game that I tend to play very often. The platformer-esque, like Metroidvania style game. It's not usually one that catches my attention, but there's something special about the Ori games. Blind Forest is just like visually looks stunning. It's beautiful. The environment is amazing. The colors are amazing. The mechanics, be it I don't play these games very often, but I'm assuming that Ori has some pretty solid mechanics and kind of like gameplay loops and things like that. I'm having a blast. I don't know if it's hard, but it's hard for me because I'm not used to playing these games.
Yeah,
I die so much because I suck. But yeah, it's just really good. The story's actually really good. It's like really sad.
Music is really good in it.
The music is so good. But yeah, I just love the Metroidvania aspect of like, get a new ability and then that unlocks a new portion of an area you've already been. So I was like downloading, editing, and uploading podcast episodes the other night. And I was like, playing while I was waiting for stuff to download and upload. And I ended up playing for like a little over an hour and like made zero progression in the actual like story, but just spent that hour trying to discover all the areas I could now unlock in an area I've already been. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. But yeah, I'm loving it. It was great. And plus I got it on sale for like $5. So, typical Mike game. If you have a deck, it's perfect for a handheld.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
I think I own both of them. Are there two of them?
Yeah, there's two.
Yep.
I think I own both of them. I just never got around to playing them. And I love Metroidvania games. It's been a long while since I've played one, like a really long time. But I always enjoy them every time. So yeah, it's definitely on my list, and it's beautiful. The graphics are beautiful.
It's so nice. If you're looking for something, you need like just a small game that you can play in little chunks in between things. It's great on the deck, so I would highly recommend it. I know Jeff's played a little bit of it. Nick probably not. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
He's tuned you out, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Still trying to find that mech anime to start
Yeah.
watching. It's really bothering me.
I know. What are your feelings on Ori, Jeff? You've dabbled a little bit.
I love it. I streamed it once, I think. But no, it's gorgeous game. Music, I want to say it's hand-drawn graphics. Maybe. But it's just it's awesome.
Yeah, that's been my like game in between games, which really came in handy when last week, lightning storm rolled through. I was on the podcast from my phone. Our internet was out, I think, until like
Mech Cadets. Nick, is that it? Sorry, Mike.
Go, Mike.
That's cool. Internet was out like until late Friday, maybe even Saturday. I don't remember. But I found out a lot of games I couldn't play on my Steam Deck because it needed to be connected to the internet. Ori was not one of them, so I put a lot of time in with Ori. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing it up. I think I'm like about 30% through the game if I were to make a rough estimate, but looking forward to finishing up the first and then eventually tackling the second.
In like a couple of years.
Well, I already own the second, so we got that part of the equation like already solved. But yes, when it would make its presence on the screen, time will tell. But yes, okay. So who's up now? We're back to you, Jeff.
Maybe.
Yes.
You've been playing or watching anything else, sir?
I have been playing. I've kind of been jumping around a little bit because that's what I do. Still playing Dead Cells.
Nice.
Which I would actually recommend.
Did you stream that the other day?
Yeah. I would recommend that above Ori. Especially to Chad.
Yeah. It's high on my list of games I want to play because it would like made a huge splash when that game came out and it looks phenomenal. I'm not into the roguelike elements of it,
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of frustrating.
And it's frustrating. And I like in my head don't even understand how that would work in a Metroidvania, where you're like trying to build out a map and I don't know.
They do it in a very, very fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not really the one I want to talk about. I just had to recommend that above Ori because it's the better game.
Jeff just pooping on everything I say.
Yep.
Great show, but
you should go watch Blue Beetle. Give DC a chance. Jeff's like, yeah, if you like beetles farting poop gas on you.
Basically,
Ori's a great game. Never play this genre. I love it. It's great. You should play it, Chad. Yeah, it's good, but you should definitely play Dead Cells. It's way better.
Yeah,
Chad.
And he specifically said my name.
No, but seriously, Ori's great. I think you'd love both of them.
Genlock.
What's it called?
Genlock. GEN.
Okay.
Lock.
Nick's on the podcast talking about colons now.
Oh.
Well, I mean, how old are some of you?
Oh, it's on Max, bro. That's why you couldn't find it.
Yeah. I knew. Yeah. I went to Hulu. Yeah.
Right up my alley, actually.
It's slick.
All right. So what game did you actually want to talk about, Jeff?
Well, I'm wondering if I should wait so someone else and I could talk about it together.
Oh, okay. Let's just go that because you guys are talking about roguelike crap. So I really think that I need like roguelike, Castlevania, like Metroid type games for the deck because I think I just have not been playing those. Because
you just said
I need my
everything that Dead
handheld.
Cells is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would-
And I'm
No,
sure
I just
it's great
decided
on
like
the
that's
deck.
what I need to target for like the deck because Tribes really kind of convinces me of like the play style that just resonates with vegging out on a handheld like in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just so much time spent on this game. It's ridiculous.
It's like that, and like, can I play Diablo on the deck? Like, I feel like that needs to be replayed on the
Battle.net
deck.
merged into Steam.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
like
Overwatch
literally
is on Steam.
all? Well, it's like World of Warcraft.
I don't know. You have to check. I'll check right now while you're talking.
What?
So
Yeah.
I agree with you. So one of my favorite games of all time when we talked about it is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It wasn't until I played that on the Vita where I was like, this is where this game belongs. Like, it's perfect. So those games are perfect for handhelds. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I know that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is the kind of spiritual successor to Castlevania, made by the same guy that made majority of the Castlevania games. It's still got that quick gameplay, not like old school Castlevania where you're super heavy and there's really bad knockback and all the bad stuff that was in those games. And it's supposedly really good. I never got around to it. I think I played like the first like 10 minutes of it, but you're on like a ship and it's like rocking. So the whole screen is rocking and it was just not jiving with it even remotely. But I think that ends like right at the end of the tutorial. I just couldn't get to that point for it to end. So
Yeah, I see. Yeah, because Dead Cells is a platformer. So yeah, it's that for sure. But then also just like the top down, like Diablo style and like Midgard style is like even more so because like I can't fall off things in those games. Like those games I could fall off things. So like even more potato vegetable like but I mean this looks sweet and I think and this is why I got like that Shank game that you talked about, Mike, for like that style of game. I think that's just what it needs to be. Not that Tomb Raider isn't also awesome on the deck. So I'm finding the ends with the deck and like what works the best.
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy. I watched Civ stream that and it looked really fun. I ended up picking it up on Steam. It's supposed to be good. Rogue Legacy 2's out. But I feel like that would be another great Steam or another deck game you could try out.
Why is there's a lot of Dead Cells games? Like which one is it? Like just straight Dead Cells or like
Dead Cells? A lot of them are the
DLC. Yeah.
Which is they're pretty cheap too.
So you guys got to talk about Tribes of Midgard because you guys are both playing it pretty well. My pointing really bad.
Way off.
These guys somewhere are playing Tribes of Midgard a lot more than I am. I started it and it is pretty fun, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say about it because you've played a lot more than
I will say the first boss is very frustrating. Took me a couple tries, and it has different forms that it takes. So like, and it doesn't move, but it does things like it attacks and it shoots like these little orbs at you, and then it turns into like this weird sand creature thing.
I'm all about your descriptions of anything on the podcast.
They're great. They're great. You really paint a picture when you describe things. You really do.
The
like
boss,
if I close my eyes, I can see it.
But it does things.
It's like Nick's description of a movie.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
We should
there's
just have
characters.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Plot, dialogue.
There's enemies that you fight. Yeah, no, it's fun.
No, it's fun because you can. There's like, it's one of those games where it's grindy. It has like that, and I've said this before, like that Warcraft kind of grind to it. Like, to make things easier, just go slam down trees, kill like just mobs of enemies, and just go around and around the map. Just like going balls to the wall, because eventually you'll get enough of the most rarest stuff you can collect to where you can upgrade your stuff in your town, well, your village, your base.
Yeah.
Dad has a house. I just freeform it like out in the
What?
open. I haven't really gotten to the building. Ironically, I don't really
I know,
care
right?
for
That's
The
in this
building,
game.
the building is very, very, very cool. You can
I
put down
have not.
floors,
You put like walls together.
and then a roof.
Oh, whoa! What are you describing here? That's crazy.
It is cool because you can do multiple layers.
I have
So,
noticed
like,
that.
If you do like the left trackpad,
Mhm.
I think it's that one. If you press up, you can go up different
Yeah.
layers.
Have you
So, yeah,
guys
I have a house.
played together yet? Because it is
Nope.
co-op.
Is that the one that's up to 10?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep. And I think like how that works is like basically someone fires up a server, like 10 people, 10 people jump in it, and then you just like go ham and like try to get as far as y'all can. I feel like because it's almost that easy to where I was like, if there's 10 of us on this map, like we would just steamroll and like.
Is this like another top-down Diablo style?
Yeah. Yep.
It's got
and
like,
Dad, I tried to do the boss at where I think you did it at like level 2, like weapon bench. Once you get to level 3, you can just steamroll everything on the starter zone, and that's what I waited for. So I would just absolutely obliterate everything.
But did you beat the boss?
Oh yeah, I beat the boss.
Okay.
Because then I tried out sailing. Oh man, it was like the first time sailing in Valheim. And that's the cool thing about this game is it has like Valheim moments where it's like I just died. I could have avoided it. I didn't see it coming, and you just die. And it kind of sucks. And this game definitely has elements of that.
Yes, it does. And you have to go and get your loot.
Yeah.
Or it's gone.
Yeah.
I have gotten that far.
Can you play?
Mike's like, I have died.
Yeah.
You can play this entirely solo though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's even like a
very important for Chad.
Very.
There's like a survival one, like a different mode, not just like the campaign, but like I think there's waves of enemies.
Mm-hmm. You have so much time to build up your base, and then they start coming.
You have like 9 days, but there's like an already built base. So like you can go in and get healed. You can purchase things. You still have to go to get supplies, but you can go and come back.
That would be fun on co-op, I feel.
And I think that's probably what it is leaning more
sense.
towards. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I like it because it is a cool mix of like Diablo, WoW, and Valheim.
Fortnite.
It's exactly what it looks like in Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
has a lot of the.
It's like the UI of Fortnite and like annoyingness of Fortnite.
Well, you can also get into tons of cosmetics and like you can buy shit with your money. Like obviously, like it's that model game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't have to be. It's nice because it's a little like. It's the outside layer of things. It's just like where you load in at, and it's like, hey, buy all this shit. It's like, now just go play.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's super mindless too, because it is one of those games where like you have to focus on like, it's like Valheim. You have to focus at certain points because otherwise you will die and you'll be pissed about it.
Like but then, freezing to death.
Freezing to death when it creeps up on you. But then the vast majority of the time, like you're just like having fun, like just taking out just mobs and like chopping trees.
I'm telling you though, like still some of my favorite recent gaming memories are just like the random rowdy adventures we'd get into in Valheim doing stupid stuff like building the canal or just like, Nick, we got to go get some iron. And then we end up lost in this massive swamp attacked by like all these crazy things. And then like you have these wild stories of like, remember that one time in Valheim when games like that are so fun. And I think that's why I really have a fond place in my heart for these survival. Like what do we even call these? I don't even know if it's truly a survival game, but it's survival craft. Like
they're survival crafters is kind of like the gist of it.
That like I know you guys also picked up Sengoku and tried to stream, but it looked a little maybe Sengoku is a little rough around the edges at this point.
I think Chad was having nightmares about it. not even knowing about it in his sleep. That's
It was
how bad it
StreamYard,
was.
though.
Yeah.
Was it
It's
stream?
true.
It's not the game that was.
No.
I literally
No, because-
waited. I waited for you guys for like freaking ever that night because I think I was at work.
Yeah.
And did you guys ever go live? Because you had it up on there, like going live.
For like
at
we
2.5
For
hours.
like
That was
2
bad.
I was literally waiting. I'm like, what the hell?
We
is
didn't
going
go
on
live
here?
on YouTube. We went live on Twitch, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
No,
false
I was
advertising.
over on YouTube with the false
Well,
advertisement. Yeah.
We killed the YouTube stream, but Dad created the studio and set it for going live like right away. So that's why we just looked like we were 4 hours late.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Hey,
But-
I don't set up the studio.
clearly.
That's what Mike's doing.
The great producer.
You would think the producer would have a hand in that.
Look at my title. Look at my title.
True.
This
He does have a disclaimer down there, so
Brought
that's,
to you
that's a
by
bad job out of us, really.
Dad.
mediocre.
But yeah, is Sengoku pretty cool or?
Oh,
It is cool.
really, really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have to do more in that game before Chad can come in and hang out because like
Yeah.
there's not a village yet and like we don't have weapons for him. Like he's gonna show up and be like, I need a sword.
Screw
I need
this, I'm out.
armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the goal
Get-
and the objective?
Right. Get
you need
this
to be like-
fucking arrow quiver off of me right now. I don't want this shit.
Yeah.
So-
You need to be
So-
like in after year one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, completely like we had to build a house and then it became my house. So we were like, crap, we have to build Dad a house now.
Yeah.
And, like it's not.
He just kicked Dad out.
But
Well, no, you can
You-
only put
you-
one bed down.
oh,
in a
okay,
house, yeah.
okay.
But you gave my house to some lady.
And then I accidentally gave your house to our first villager. So then we had to build another house. And
I accidentally.
the UI on the
This is
management
why I
side-
love these games because there's not really much of a driving story and it's
But
all
there is in
just
this
your
one.
experience.
There
you know?
is.
there is, and like that's like you're trying to move through this. It's kind of it's heavy because you chop the trees down, then you have to cut the logs and the planks. But before you do that, you should debark it to get the bark for other things. So there's like several layers just in chopping down a tree in terms of what materials you
And
get.
there's a lot of tree chopping.
Yeah,
It's
so
like lumberjack
Don't say
simulator.
that.
Right-
Don't
right
say
up
that.
Mike's
You guys
alley,
know
yeah.
how I feel about tree chopping in video games. It's like
was a
my
lot of
favorite
work to
thing to
build.
do.
to build 3 houses, a lumber
Together.
mill, and like
Lumberjack.
a granary. Like it was a lot of work. Like
Nice.
that's what we spent 2.5 hours doing.
Dude,
Though
I
Dad did
explored a
complete
lot.
some quests. He helped out some locals
nice,
so we could get
nice.
some rep.
Yeah. Are there quests?
Yeah.
There's a story
yeah.
going
There's a
on.
story.
Or what?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's cool because no matter kind of like what you're doing, you're sharing the story. So like Dad was completing this one thing, I was doing this other thing. So like I was working on getting these things for the village. He was completing these quests of like helping out these locals so we can like build our like dynasty level.
You know,
And
getting
you bring
lost
me in
the
as like a
woods.
bodyguard, and I'll just
There you go.
Yeah.
protect the town.
That would
But
be
a
awesome.
lot of stuff's gonna have to happen. You're right, because you're gonna have to fix my computer first because I don't have a way to play it.
I'm fairly decent. I could take a crack at that.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I don't know what's going on.
I'll
with
pick your
it, yeah.
computer up when I drop your shirt off.
There you go.
There you go. Speaking of, I was wearing my shirt yesterday. It's a very comfy shirt.
They are comfortable shirts. They're
Yeah.
very nice.
Check out our merch store.
Shout
Link
out.
in the episode description.
Shout out.
Yeah, Sengoku sounds awesome. I don't know if you saw what I sent you in Discord today. It wasn't a DM or anything. It was in What's Playing. But I watched a 13-minute gameplay video of Mines of Moria. And I'm very excited about that game, which is Lord of the Rings Valheim.
Oh yeah.
But with like a
Remember that.
story, it sounds like, and you don't want to awaken what's in the depths.
Sure. I didn't pay too much attention. I was just like
I think that's like
glancing up and seeing what the
yeah.
gameplay looked like.
it's like imminent. There's like you're like disturbing, like bringing out threats. The deeper you dig, I think is
Yeah.
the no
yeah,
spoilers.
that makes sense. Makes sense.
What could possibly be in the Minds of
Yeah, I
Moria?
don't know.
But even Chad knows what's in the Minds of Moria, and he's only watched the movies once.
But yeah, looking forward to that one. Super excited. I think eventually I'll have to get Sengoku though, because that sounds pretty rad.
It's a lot of work.
Dude, ask Nick if you need wood, who do you go to? Mike, this guy will deforest entire islands in Valheim.
Well,
I have problems.
But here's the
It's
problem.
so
though.
relaxing.
The game is actually really nice, and like when you chop in a forest, you're like, this is like a really nice looking forest. Like, I don't want to necessarily. It's not like Valheim where like all the forests are just like the same trees kind of thing. Not that these aren't the same trees, but the scale of it like really makes you feel like you're literally chopping down the forest.
Yeah.
Whereas like Valheim's like, now it's just like a grass field, right? So there's a little bit more realism in terms of like the finiteness of everything.
That's pretty cool, actually.
We need to play that again, Nick.
Yeah, I was thinking about it
so
the
much
other
fun.
evening, but then I was like, Sopranos. I mean, yeah, hour-long episodes. It's you gotta really
you gotta get through them. Yeah.
Chad, what you got?
Okay. Now we can talk about Armored Core.
The moment I've been waiting for.
The moment Nick has been waiting for. So I started playing Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, which is From Software's new game. And it's really fucking good. To clarify, I have not... It's been a while since I played it's been a while since the Armored Core game has released. I think the last one was like 2012, 2013. So it's a super important game too, because it's been literally a decade since From Software has released anything that wasn't a Souls-like. And this is not a Souls-like. But it definitely has a lot of Souls-like elements in it. It is aggressively difficult. The boss fights in this, I don't remember even what the last Armored Core game the boss fights in this feel like they're straight out of a Souls game. But everything in this game is just so polished perfectly. It's just stunningly beautiful, super deep building of mechs. And the other cool thing that I find is like, I'll build a mech and it will carry me through like a chapter, but I'll get to a specific mission where it just does not, like, I need something else. I have to go build something. This is not working anymore. So it's really cool. There's a lot of experimenting going on. It's really based on like rerunning the missions as well. So I don't know. I'm like I think I'm on the final mission of chapter 2, and there's only like 5 chapters. So, ask your questions away, Nick. I'll answer what I can.
So you just said like it's like rewriting the levels. So is it's Souls-like in that respect?
So it's not Souls-like, and they were very clear coming out.
Or not like, or a lot of
people
Sekiro-like, where it's like you should rerun this level to farm to.
Yeah. So there's the main way of getting money in the game is running missions. The way the game is set up, it's not like an open world like any of the Souls games. There's not like bonfires you rest at. They were very clear going into this. They're like, yes, this is Armored Core, and this is Armored Core, not a Souls game. So it's not going to be open world. You're not going to have these interconnected areas that you can explore. But there's separate missions that you go on. And you get like a cool little briefing and debriefing at the end of each mission. But the main way of getting money is running these missions. And you can run them infinitely. I found a mission where you can get 100 comb, which is the money in the game, within like less than 30 seconds. It's that quick if you got the right mech for it. So, but yeah, there's
kind of sounds like a Gran Turismo setup where you just keep doing the races and making money, buying cars.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely prime because there's a lot of different elements to the game. So there's also an arena, which is one-on-one fights with mechs, and there's like a list of like 25, I think, in total throughout the whole game. But New Game Plus, I think, adds in like another 25. So there's incentive to go back and play it a second, third time. There's new endings. There's different routes you can take. But yeah, as far as like the replaying of the missions, what carries you through it is it's just so fucking fun to play, dude. It's really, really fun to play. You feel the speed of whatever mech. The weapons are awesome. everything about it just feels perfect. It feels like a From Software game where it's just they've got it down, they've got their craft down, right?
Sounds like Destiny 2, where you're kind of like you got your like home base and you're just kind of grinding out dungeons, kind of. In this case, missions.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And there's like, you can definitely tell where the main missions are, and then there's like lower missions where it's like go kill an AC, and that's the mission that I'm talking about. You just go kill one AC and you're done, or go wipe out this area of Rubicon, and there's like 20 enemies and you're done.
Are they like, I mean, like similar, like kind of like a mission board where it's like easy, medium, hard, but also like, are they a little bit randomized? Like, is it the same exact map and like run when you do that kill AC?
Yeah, same exact thing. And then it's also got a rating system. So it's kind of the key is like getting S rank on all the missions, which is really seems at the current point in the game fucking impossible to do because it's just impossible. You have to
rerun them with better mechs later.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I was able to go back and do it. But yeah, you have your smaller missions, and then you have your bigger ones, which usually have boss fights in them, multiple boss fights in some of them, and they are just like big, extravagant fights, dude. I'm sure you saw the one in the trailer, which is like that big, huge thing walking through the desert. That mission is awesome. Really, really cool. And it's early too. That's like the second or third mission of the game is that big one. But it's definitely got the From Software. Like if you don't learn the systems of this game, you're not going to progress at all. You're going to die repeatedly over and over. You have to learn the systems. You have to know, how your weapons work, how the cooldowns work on your weapons, what is the best application for those weapons. It's very deep, dude. I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy with it. Have you played Armored Core?
Like rented from like Giant Eagle in 2000 something on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Probably because I was like watching Gundam and I was like, this game looks cool.
Yeah, this is like probably the dream Gundam game right here, because you can build anything, dude. There are people building Gundams in the game. So
can I have a cool anime hairstyle and jump out of my mech and like be very dramatic?
No, you can't get out of your mech. But there's just there's so much depth between in the building of your mech. You know what I mean? You have different legs. All the different legs do different things. You have like a 4-leg one that can hover with jets so you can fly around. You have like a tank that has like a drifting thing so it can change directions really quick. You have the reverse joint ones which jump really high and dash really far. There's just so much that you can tinker with, and it's so fun trying to figure it out. And also there's a lot of like percentages you're working with too. You're trying to keep things under a specific weight. You need to make sure that your generator has enough power for all the weapons. You need to make sure your frame can hold the heavy weapons if you have heavy weapons. So there's just so much stuff to tinker with, and it's a lot of fun.
Like if you overload your frame, do you like have increased fatigue and then it breaks? Like could you say if you can't power all your weapons, like is that just something you have to deal with if you choose to go that way?
So when
divert all power to...
I was overburdened is what they call the weight thing, and it would not let me go into the mission overburdened. So I don't think you're allowed to do it.
It'd be cool if they let you build like rough builds, but like it has some really like crazy hack on it.
Yeah, it might have been
overburdened, but I have a mass driver cannon that just nukes everything.
Right. Yeah, I haven't tried the energy shortfall, which is the generator one when you have too much power. I haven't tried that one. If they'll let you, I would imagine maybe that's the one I'm thinking. Maybe you can go in overburdened, but you can't go in with an energy shortage. So yeah, there's just it's a lot of fun, dude. I don't know. Awesome. I have not played a mech game in a long while. And I played the crap out of the first Armored Core game on the PS1 because I had a demo disc that had like the first mission on it. And I just played that thing. It had that and the opening of Metal Gear Solid on it. So those two levels from those two games, I know.
I've definitely played that because I remember the Metal Gear Solid demo.
It came in like a PlayStation You remember they used to give like demo discs in the PlayStation magazines back in the day?
Yeah, maybe that's what I played.
So yeah, it's a typical, like, the story is there. It's a typical FromSoft game where it's kind of like you're not getting cutscenes, right? You're not getting cutscenes for the story. You're getting kind of like briefings, and you're getting stuff that you're picking up in the mission that you're reading, that kind of stuff. Kind of a control style. Like, if you don't read it, you're not going to know what the hell's going on. But yeah, it's really good. I have dove headfirst into it, and I'm loving every second of it. I've built out quite the army of mechs. I've got one for specific jobs. It's all coming together. Because for a while there, because you're so short on money, that you like have to sell all the parts for the mech that you're tearing down to build the new one. And I hate being broke in games, so that's why I ran that mission like 500 times, so I could just be rich and buy whatever I needed. But now I'm like building out, like I have like a build out, and it lets you save them too. So you can just go in and be like, okay, I need the 4-leg one for this one. I need the one that's got way more armor for this one. The beefy boy for this one. I need the fast boy for this one. So
Nice.
Is that how you name them?
no, I think I named one beefy boy, which is like my big tank one. But yeah, you can name and you change the customization as far as the looks of them is crazy too. You can change the color of literally everything. You can mess with all kinds of stuff, emblems, all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, I have seen people already building like the typical Gundam looking one. Right. So it's really, really cool, man. Yeah. And it's also cool to see From Software get out of the Souls like area for a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they have been devout for that for a decade. I mean, it's 2013 was the last Armored Core that came out. So when they announced this, I knew people were going to freak out about it because it's been a while, and they have a devout fan base that have been. Yeah. It's like you go to like their Facebook and they announce like Elden Ring. You look at the comments, everybody's asking for Armored Core. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the next Armored Core?
Yeah,
it's right here.
That's Medieval 3 for the Total War franchise.
Yeah,
they could release gold and diamonds, and everyone's just like, Medieval 3 when?
Yeah,
yes.
And it's a super quick turnaround for them as well, because Elden Ring came out like what?
2020?
2 years? 2 years ago? 21, I think. Yeah. So quick turnaround, and it was funny because that when they released Elden Ring, the president of FromSoft was like, "Our next game's almost done."
Yeah, well, they were working. They were
for sure
in
for
tandem.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But this is still a quick turnaround, even with working.
Yeah,
that
for
way,
them
you
for
know?
sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I see. Obviously, a lot of people ranting and raving about it. Added it to the Steam wish list, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely worth if you got the mech itch going on. This is the game for you. And I do appreciate, like, there are a lot of things that they brought in from past FromSoft games. So like the old Armored Core games didn't have a hard lock. This has a hard lock on it. Which kind of threw the fan base off. They didn't want a hard lock, but the way they did it, is really smart. So if you hard lock on, which makes it easier to track your enemy, your shots are less effective or less accurate. So it's beneficial to not lock on in this game. But sometimes you need to, because some of these bosses are like crazy.
So I mean, it's kind of like it gives you like obviously a lock on aim assist, but it's kind of more of a general like.
So it gives you
it's almost like shooting without scoping. Like it's kind of like a shooting from the hip kind of situation.
Yeah, it gives you there's a soft lock where you still have to be aiming in the general direction, and then there's a hard lock where it actually locks the camera onto that enemy. Not unlike every other FromSoft game, like Sekiro, same thing when you lock on in Sekiro, which makes it easier to track, but it's more beneficial, and you can maybe move a little bit better in some of the mechs if you're not locked on. But yeah, it's I don't know, dude. It's a lot of fun. It's just I've never played. It's been a while since I played a mech game, so it's scratching that itch for sure.
It's only $60. Guess I could buy it.
Only. Jeez, that's
haven't paid full price for a new launch in a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta correct myself because I kept calling the Lord of the Rings game Mines of Moria, but it's Return to Moria.
Return to Moria. Yeah.
And it's coming this fall, which technically would be like now, I guess. It's not on Steam yet, but it should be soon. I'm assuming, unless we're going late fall. Armored Core sounds awesome. Mechs are super cool. The last mech game I played was a multiplayer only called Hawken, and it was just third person mech shooter. It was super fun. Didn't stay alive very long, which is kind of sad, but
yeah, this is I have not got into it yet. I don't even know if I have the option to do it yet, but this does have multiplayer as well. 1v1, 3v3, I think.
No way, dude. That would be so cool, dude.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with Hawken. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely gonna keep an eye out for a sale. It's gonna be a while, but whenever
just sucks
happens.
that mechs suffer the same like fate as like mech movies and like stuff like that suffer the same fate as like the Warcraft movie. Just whatever reason, like Westerners just
don't like it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like anyone who remotely was not old, right, in the 90s, like it's just kind of ingrained in our brains. Like mechs are awesome. Like,
right.
Get more. Like I wish Pacific Rim would have like stuck a little harder than it did. We'd have more of those.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a second one.
You got a second one, yeah.
I
haven't seen
if
those.
it was like,
I haven't
first
seen them
one's
either.
good.
First one's good.
So good.
Yeah, I'll have to
Great
check it out because it's definitely on my list.
I mean, it's got the right
correction
flavor.
here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Return to Moria releases in October.
Wow. Prime fall. Deep fall.
Deep fall. I love that.
Deep fall.
Also, did you see so Alan Wake was supposed to come out October, I think 17th, and they bowed down to Spider-Man 2 and said we'll release that it's like October 27th now, which makes more sense closer to Halloween. Like I would release it on Halloween, Alan Wake 2. That makes the most sense. But I just thought it was funny because they said originally that they weren't scared of any other games, and then they ended up backing down to Spider-Man 2.
Makes sense. Yeah, so I have nothing left to talk about. I don't think Nick does. Dad, have you watched or played anything else?
No.
What about yourself, Chad? Was that the last one?
That was it.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for hanging out, telling us what you've been watching and playing. Thank you, listeners, for hanging out, and hopefully you got some new things to add to your backlogs. Leave a comment. Let us know what you've been watching and playing so we can add to our backlogs. Not that that's necessarily needed because they're pretty extensive as is, but hey, we still want to hear. We have some mic-less episodes coming up here in September. So I'm sure they'll be way better than the mic full episodes. So tune in to those. I'm sure Chad and Nick and Dad will have some pretty awesome topics coming up for you guys. Pokeboys Season 2 will release Episode 1 on September 8th here on the Showboys platform, so look out for that. Super excited. Season 2 has been a wild ride with a new concept of a challenge run. Dad edited our first video and made it look super sick, so check that out. It's going to be cool. September 8th. Other than that, I don't know. Is there anything else we need to get out there before we end?
Peace out.
No? All right. Well, hey, go sign up and be a patron. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
guess we're not done.
Gundam 00 and then Gundam Wing.
Armored Core 6.
Yes.
Is that the